Who could be the next big-time recruit to commit to Alabama? Well, Nick Saban is firing up the private jet for recruiting season as we speak, and he's making some important in-home visits this week. We're going to break it all down in this video with the great Tim Watts from BamaOnline. But first, Alabama fans, do me a favor. Hit subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We're growing this thing. We're almost at 30K. We need your help to get there. Hit subscribe for me, please. All right. Tim Watts from BamaOnline. Now, before we get into who could be the next commitment, I got to ask you, because we're real close to a Jordan Seaton commitment. That'll happen either, well, it depends on when you're watching this. We're either a day or two out, but we're real close. So give me your final thoughts on where Bama stands with Seaton heading into this big decision.
I think they have a good relationship. I think they have had the whole time. Eric Wolfers did a good job of recruiting him. You kind of saw the writing on the wall with him being the number one offensive lineman. After his season, it's kind of funny. I was talking to a college coach. He said his recruiting's just began. It's just started. It's just getting going after the summer. He named Alabama as leader several times. He's going to have good NIL offers. He's going to have a lot of options. Ohio State, Oregon, Alabama, Tennessee. I'm probably forgetting somebody. Maybe Colorado's in there. This was not. I can tell you this, on every side of the fence, this was a surprise that he's committing on Thursday. Yeah. It was not expected. No college staff knew this was coming. There was nobody, in that comfort zone. I think he surprised a lot of people, jumped on a jet, headed to California to make it even better, not meeting with any staffs this week. So somehow, some way, he's made up his mind. I think it's almost impossible to predict what he'll do, because if it's a business decision, he's probably looking at a school that's going to be more active in the NIL space than in Alabama and maybe in Ohio State. I know he's coming off that Ohio State visit, but they've been kind of in the same boat as Alabama's, keeping it across the board. So I would think, if it's a football decision, I think Alabama's got a really good chance. But I think with the uncertainty, it's really hard to predict right now. And I've spent 2 days talking to people that have connections to every school, and no one really has a great feel for this.
Yeah, I've kind of done the same thing from my perspective, talking to all sides of this thing. And basically what I've come to find out is there's 4 teams: Alabama, Ohio State, Oregon, and Tennessee. And all 4 teams have some level of confidence. None have a great high level, but there's some confidence in all 4 of those teams. So I just got to ask you, let's say tomorrow goes down, he makes his decision, and it's not Alabama. Who do you think it will be for Jordan Seaton?
I would bet Tennessee. I think they're active in the NIL space with the guys they really want. We saw that last year with Nico, the quarterback. Mm-hmm. I think you're an offensive-minded head coach, and you want to protect your quarterback, obviously. So getting the number one offensive tackle in the country, a guy that probably should come in and impact pretty early, I think it would make the most sense with Tennessee. Now, I don't think anybody's going to surprise me in this one. But if I had to put money down right now, I would bet on Tennessee getting the commitment.
Now, if we're going to talk Alabama flip targets, then we also got to talk about Alabama having to play a little defense on the recruiting trail. And that's because Hugh Freeze is being a little pesky. He's already flipped 1 5-star from Bama, and he's looking for more. So mainly the 2 targets that he's trying to flip is Jeremiah Beaman, 4-star defensive lineman, and 5-star 2025, currently 2025, wide receiver Ryan Williams. Let's start with Jeremiah Beaman. How big of a priority is he right now for Alabama to hold on to? And in the end, do you think he ends up flipping or sticking?
Yeah, he'll end up sticking. I mean, he closed his recruitment late last night, met with Saban. And, a lot of this is what's going to happen is when you go to meet, Saban's a big deal knocking on that front door. I mean, there's other coaches, but Nick Saban sitting in the house, solidifying all that, because there's been months of people putting doubt in recruits' minds. So when you sit down and hear it from the head guy, it's a little bit different. I mean, Auburn put the full court press on him. Absolutely a top priority for them. I've never felt that he wasn't going to end up at Alabama. He did go to Auburn for an official visit, but he went back to the Iron Bowl, said he's rooting for Alabama, said all the right things other than the official visit. And the thing is, he said he was going to take official visits, so it wasn't some shock. And it's also a good sign when a kid's communicating with Alabama, with the school. Any kid committed to a school, if he's communicating them, the ones you have to worry about is if they pop up on the campus and you didn't know about it. But all the feedback from Jeremiah has been positive with Alabama.
Okay, now Ryan Williams, the 2025 five-star commitment, and he put out a note on Instagram over the weekend saying that he has a big announcement to come. It was a 9-day countdown. Now I think we're down to about 4 or 5 days left in that countdown. So what are you expecting Ryan Williams to announce next week?
I don't think he's announcing he's flipping. I think that Ryan's, he's worked, and he said it early on, and we've known about this for, almost, 9 months, that he at least wanted to have the option of reclassifying. He never said he was or he wasn't. He wanted to have the option, but it's a lot of work to do to get to that position. He said he had an announcement after the state championship game, so, we're not going to ruin his moment. I'm not exactly sure. He hasn't told us 100% for sure what he's going to do, but I don't think he's flipping. I mean, he's committed to Alabama, so he wouldn't be committed to Alabama, so I think he's got an announcement. Also, you're dealing with teenagers, I have teenagers. Their big announcements aren't always the announcements that the adults think are big. So it is big news for him, but I think it's been speculated on a lot leading up to that decision.
Yeah, I think so too. But, Auburn fans are out there just hoping it's a lot bigger than just a reclassification note. But that being said, how do you consider Ryan Williams' commitment status right now? He has taken a bunch of visits to Auburn. He does tell all the Auburn writers the right things when he speaks to them. So how do you consider Ryan Williams' commitment status?
Unless I've missed it, it looks like Ryan mainly talks to the Auburn people when he walks out of the facility. When he's on a visit there. I mean, he picks up the phone for us. We get updates and we get stuff. I mean, it's kind of been a good sign. We haven't really had to track him down. And he said all the right things to Alabama. He's recruiting for Alabama. Talking to kids currently is this weekend. He's talked to kids trying to get them to go to Alabama. So we've always considered him firm. Now, we understand Auburn's got some optimism over there. And, that they had optimism with Perry Thompson, ended up flipping him. But they also had optimism with Jeremiah Beaman, and never really were in that one, in my opinion. So I think it just, it's a teenager. Anything can happen when recruiting. But again, if I'm betting, I'm betting that he's going to stick with Alabama. And there's still a couple of weeks to figure this whole thing out. But right now, I feel like he's Alabama's to lose.
All right, thanks for clarifying that. Now we want to know who could be the next to commit to Alabama. And Sam Spiegelman says 4-star running back Kewan Lacy is closing in on a decision. He's a top 100 player, number 85 ranked overall, former Nebraska decommitment, and it really looks like it's coming down to 3 teams: Ole Miss, Missouri, and Alabama. And Nick Saban goes in home today. Tim, you kind of hit on what happens when Nick Saban goes in home for a visit like this. Can Alabama close it out with Lacy?
Yeah, I think they did a really good job. And if you followed the dominoes, the tea leaves, Alabama went to see him at his school, still committed to Nebraska. Alabama offered him a scholarship, set up an unofficial visit for him to come, and then he decommitted. So Alabama's definitely a factor in this. Robert Gillespie does a really good job. We saw that last year with Justice Haynes and Richard Young, 2 very elite-type prospects, building a good relationship with them. I think Alabama's in a good space with Kewan. I still think there's some recruiting to go. We're so close. I think you're going to hear that term a lot. There's still some recruiting to do because, again, in-home visits, I mean, that's going to be important for not just Alabama, but for every school. Also, you got NIL offers that are going to go out. You got a lot of factors factoring in with every recruit, but I think Alabama's did a really good job with Lacy. Curious to see if he comes back for an official visit before his decision. I think that would be a tell sign if he does. So we're watching that. But I think Alabama's did a really good job so far.
All right. Well, Alabama fans, let me know what you guys think. Comment section below. Is Kewan Lacy the next commitment? Maybe Jordan Seaton. How are you guys feeling about this class right now? Let me know. Comment section below. Tim Watts, it's going to be a busy 2 weeks on Bama Online. Thanks for dropping by the Inside Scoop today.
Appreciate it, Josh. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that content, be sure to subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We have a new page dedicated only to recruiting. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now.